My name is Emily Thompson. I just turned 30 and live in a quiet suburb of Michigan. Outside my window, I can see maple trees swaying in the wind, a place where you can feel the changing of the seasons. My husband Ryan and I have been together since college and got married right after graduation. He's 32 and works as an engineer at a local auto parts manufacturer. Our house is a 2-story home surrounded by a white picket fence. You could say we're living the American dream. After 5 years of marriage, we decided to have a child. I'll never forget the joy when the pregnancy test showed positive. Ryan and I hugged and jumped around. It was like a scene from a movie. Every day since finding out about the pregnancy has been full of new discoveries. I bought a mountain of pregnancy books from the local Barnes and Noble and spent nights poring over them. I got excited every time I saw baby items at Target, and choosing a stroller at Bye Bye Baby was the highlight of my days. But along with the joy came anxiety. Thoughts like, will I be a good mother, and can I handle the pain of childbirth, would cross my mind. At those times, I'd hold the quilt my mother who lives nearby made for me, take deep breaths, and try to calm myself down. During the pregnancy, I attended prenatal classes at the local community center. Meeting other women in the same situation and exchanging information gradually built my confidence. On weekends, Ryan and I practiced Lamaze breathing techniques together, laughing as we acted out labor scenarios. Then, one day about 2 weeks before my due date, I was suddenly hit with contractions. Ryan. It's time. At my shout, Ryan panicked and started preparing. He grabbed the pre-packed hospital bag, and we jumped in the car. Ryan's car sped through the quiet residential streets illuminated by streetlights. In about 15 minutes, we arrived at Mercy Hospital. The large cross at the hospital entrance loomed in the night sky. A nurse waiting at the emergency entrance immediately brought a wheelchair. It's okay, Emily. Take deep breaths. The nurse's kind voice guided me as we headed to the maternity ward. As soon as we reached the room, the midwife Sarah came in. Her calm demeanor helped ease my tension a bit. How far apart are the contractions? Sarah asked. I answered, about every 5 minutes. She nodded and attached the monitor to my belly. Looking good. Now we just wait patiently for the baby. With each wave of contractions, Ryan held my hand. The warmth of his hand gave me courage. Occasionally, he would look worried seeing my face contort in pain. It's okay, Emily. You can do this. As time passed, the intervals between contractions grew shorter. The clock on the wall moved slowly. As it started to get light outside, Sarah came to check on me again. Emily, it's almost time. Time to meet your baby. Hearing those words, I felt a new surge of strength. I gripped Ryan's hand even tighter and mustered my last bit of energy. That's it, just a little more. Push. I could hear Sarah's voice. And then, a small cry echoed through the room. Congratulations, it's a girl, Sarah said with a smile. She placed the baby on my chest. The weight of a small but sturdy life. I couldn't stop my tears. Hello, Sophia, I whispered. Ryan, too, was looking at our daughter with tears in his eyes. After that, I was moved to a private room. I was exhausted but filled with happiness as I held Sophia. That's when I heard a faint voice from the next bed. "Hello, I'm Jessica. Congratulations." I turned to see a young woman smiling. She was also holding a baby. "Thank you. I'm Emily. Did you just give birth too?" Jessica nodded. "Yes, last night. It's a boy." We exchanged smiles and talked about the new life we were about to begin. My conversation with Jessica eased some of the anxiety of being a new mom. However, I felt something odd about the shadow that momentarily crossed her eyes. At that time, I didn't understand what it was. After 3 days in Mercy Hospital, we returned home with our new family member. When we opened the front door, there was a homemade banner in the living room that said, "Welcome home, Sophia." Ryan must have prepared it in between his work. I felt a lump in my throat at his thoughtfulness. Walking around the house with Sophia in my arms, everything felt fresh. Spaces I used to pass through without a thought now made me wonder if they were safe for the baby. Stairs, sharp corners, even small objects, everything seemed like a potential danger. "It's okay, Emily. We'll make it a safe environment together," Ryan's words reassured me a little. The days of child-rearing were a mix of joy and hardship. I feel indescribable happiness every time Sophia's tiny fingers grasp mine. But there were also nights of no sleep due to crying and days of worrying about feeding schedules. Every day was a series of trial and error with a parenting book bought from the local Target in hand. "Emily, you're an amazing mother," Ryan encourages me, but his work has become busier than ever. With a new project starting, he's been staying late at the office more often. Every time I see his tired face, I feel guilty. "It's okay, this is just temporary. It's for Sophia," Ryan says with a smile, but I couldn't help feeling that our time together was diminishing. Still, on weekends, the three of us would go to the farmer's market or enjoy a picnic at the nearby park. These times help heal the fatigue of daily life. One day, I left Sophia with a babysitter and spent time with a friend at a cafe for the first time in a while. Raising a child is tough, but irreplaceable. My friend's words made me nod deeply, and my steps felt lighter as I headed home. However, from that day on, my life would take an unexpected turn. That day started like any other morning. After finishing Sophia's breakfast and hanging out the laundry, the doorbell rang. "Coming." I opened the door, but there was no one there. Puzzled, I stepped outside and noticed a large cardboard box at my feet. "What's this?" The box had small holes in it, and I could hear faint sounds coming from inside. Nervously, I opened the lid to find a small baby lying there. "Oh!" I couldn't help but cry out. The baby's eyes were closed, and its face was bright red. It was breathing, but its movements seemed weak. In the strong summer sun, the inside of the cardboard box was like a sauna. Coming to my senses, I immediately called 911. "Hello, it's an emergency. A baby has been abandoned in front of my house." Please come quickly. Following the operator's instructions, I brought the baby inside. In the air-conditioned living room, I wrapped it in a soft towel. I gave it a small amount of Sophia's milk with a spoon. It's okay, you're safe now. Touching the baby's forehead, I could feel it was feverish. My chest tightened with worry. A few minutes later, I heard the sound of sirens. An ambulance and police arrived simultaneously. The paramedics immediately started treating the baby, while a police officer began questioning me. What time did you find the box? Did you see anyone suspicious? I told them all the information I knew. Then the officer asked an unexpected question. Is this child not yours? What? No, my daughter is over here. I pointed to Sophia's crib. However, the officer's expression remained stern. We'll need to do a DNA test. Until then, there's a possibility we might have to arrest you. Arrest? But I didn't. As I started to panic, the officer coldly stated, "This child shows signs of abuse. Did you give birth to this child and abandon it because you couldn't raise it?" That's not. I didn't. My mind went blank. Why is this happening? I haven't done anything wrong. Thinking of Sophia, tears started to well up. At that moment, Ryan returned from work. Sensing the situation, he immediately rushed to my side. Emily. Are you okay? What happened? Ryan's presence helped calm my heart a little. While he was talking with the officer, I held Sophia with trembling hands. What will happen from here? Will I, an innocent person, be arrested? What will happen to Sophia? And who is the baby in that cardboard box? Unanswerable questions raced through my mind. After being released from police questioning and returning home, I began to worry about Ryan's behavior in the quiet house. His recent actions, late returns home, increased weekend work, everything seemed unnatural. He might be hiding something, that thought wouldn't leave my mind. The next morning, after Ryan left for work, I made a decision. I decided to search his study. I felt guilty, but I told myself I needed to know the truth. I opened the drawers and checked the documents one by one. Then, among a bundle of old receipts, I discovered several unfamiliar cafe receipts. The dates were from when I was in the hospital. Why are there so many receipts from a cafe near the hospital? My heart started racing. I decided to check his phone records too, opening the online usage details. There, I found records of frequent exchanges with an unknown number. Gathering courage, I called the number. A familiar woman's voice answered. Hello, Jessica speaking. At that moment, everything connected. Jessica, who was in the same hospital room. She and Ryan had some kind of special relationship. Why? I couldn't stop my tears. Sadness and anger at being betrayed welled up inside me. That evening, when Ryan came home, I confronted him with the evidence. Explain this. What is it? Ryan's face changed color instantly. Emily, listen. There's a reason for this. A reason? There's no reason for keeping secrets. Ryan dropped his shoulders and started to tell everything. His meeting with Jessica, learning about her situation, and then Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She was anxious about raising a child alone. So you comforted her? No, Emily. I was just listening to her concerns. But Ryan's words trailed off. I could see tears in his eyes. But what? Jessica, she switched the babies. I gasped at those words. The baby in the cardboard box flashed through my mind. That baby. Yes, it's actually our child. Emily, the one you've been raising is Jessica's child. The room seemed to spin at Ryan's confession. Why did you keep quiet until now? Jessica was threatening you. She said if we told the truth, she would harm our child. Each of his words deeply wounded my heart. The next day, I decided to meet Jessica directly. We arranged to meet at the local Starbucks. She appeared looking haggard. Emily. I'm so sorry. Tears were in Jessica's eyes. Perhaps she too was a victim of this situation. Tell me everything. Jessica confessed everything. Her lonely situation, her relationship with Ryan, and the circumstances of switching the babies. I didn't have confidence in raising a child alone, but when I saw your happy family, I became jealous. Jessica's words filled me with anger and sadness. But at the same time, I felt her pain. We decided to take a DNA test immediately. The few days waiting for the results were like a nightmare. Ryan tried to support me, but I felt a distance growing between us. Then the test results came out. Jessica's confession was true. The baby we had been raising was indeed Jessica's child. And the baby in the cardboard box was our real daughter, Sophia. The moment I learned the results, various emotions washed over me. Joy, sadness, anger, relief. But above all, a strong feeling that I needed to protect both babies. Ryan was dumbfounded. Emily, what should we do? I took a deep breath and answered, they're both our children. We'll protect them. The truth was revealed. But we still didn't know how to move forward. The only thing clear was that we had to overcome this ordeal and create a new form of family. The day after the truth was revealed, we decided to hold a family meeting. Sitting on the sofa in the living room, with a heavy atmosphere hanging in the air, I took a deep breath and began to speak. Ryan, Jessica, and the babies. We need to decide how we're going to move forward from here. Ryan kept his head down, Jessica looked on the verge of tears, and the two babies were sleeping innocently. This scene told the story of our complex situation. Let me speak first, Ryan opened his mouth. Emily, I'm truly sorry. As I was listening to Jessica's concerns, I sympathized with her feelings, but that's no excuse. I betrayed you. I'm really sorry. Ryan's words made my chest tighten. Amidst the mix of anger and sadness, I tried to maintain my composure. Jessica, I understand your feelings too. But switching the babies, you didn't need to go that far. Jessica replied tearfully, I'm really sorry. I panicked, but now, I just want to see my child. Her words resonated with something in my heart. As a mother, I could understand the feeling of wanting to be with your child. However, we also had to consider the legal issues. First, we need to tell the police everything, I said with determination. Switching babies, abandonment, these are crimes. But if we cooperate, there might be some room for leniency. Ryan and Jessica nodded silently. I could see resolve in their expressions. The next day, we headed to the police station. The questioning lasted for hours, but we told the whole truth without hiding anything. The police officers couldn't hide their surprise, but they appreciated our cooperative attitude. The legal procedures from here on will be difficult, the detective in charge said. But your honest attitude will likely be taken into consideration by the court. Those words gave me a glimmer of hope. A few weeks later, the trial began. Jessica was charged with baby switching and abandonment, but considering her mental state and circumstances, she avoided a prison sentence. Instead, she was placed under strict probation and required to undergo psychological counseling. Ryan was investigated as a possible accomplice, but as no direct involvement was found, he got off with a fine. However, this incident had a significant impact on his career. After the trial ended, we discussed rebuilding our family. Gathered around the living room table, drinking coffee, the conversation began in a heavy atmosphere. Emily, what are we going to do? Ryan asked nervously. I closed my eyes and thought deeply. About everything that had happened, the emotional ups and downs, and above all, about the two babies. Ryan, to be honest, it's still difficult for me to forgive you right now, I said quietly. But for the sake of the children, we need to cooperate. Ryan looked sad but nodded in understanding. Jessica, your child is also a member of our family now, I said, turning to Jessica. But I want you to participate in raising them too. I think that's best for these children. Jessica agreed tearfully. Thank you, Emily. I'll do my very best. From that day on, we began to explore a new form of family. I decided to separate from Ryan, but he visits frequently to help take care of the children. Jessica also meets with the children regularly under the supervision of her probation officer. I started a new life as a mother of two babies and as a single mother. At first, I was full of anxiety, but with the support of family and friends, and the help of a local single mother support group, I'm moving forward little by little. One day, while walking in the park pushing a stroller, an elderly woman next to me struck up a conversation. They're both so adorable. Thank you, I smiled. It must be tough. But when I look into your eyes, I sense strength. Those words brought tears to my eyes. It is indeed tough. But when I see these two babies smile, I feel like it's all worth it. After returning home and putting the babies to sleep, I wrote in my diary. Dear Sophia and Olivia, I was happy to spend another day with you both. You are both so precious to me. There will surely be many difficult things in your life ahead. But Mom will always protect you and continue to love you. The beginning of your lives might have been complicated. But I believe that will make you grow into stronger, more compassionate people. Sophia, Olivia, you are my treasures. Always be yourselves. With love, Mom. Closing my diary and looking at the sleeping faces of the babies, I renewed my determination. The road ahead is certainly not smooth. But for these two, and for myself, I will live strongly and kindly. A new morning begins. The sunlight streaming through the window felt like a ray of hope. 5 years have passed since then. Sophia and Olivia are now active 5-year-old girls. Although they look different, seeing them play together like sisters warms my heart. Today is Sunday. As usual, we're enjoying a picnic in the park. I'm sitting on a bench in the shade, watching the two of them play on the playground equipment. Emily. Sorry I'm late. I turn around to see Jessica running up, out of breath. In her hand is a homemade apple pie. Don't worry about it. The kids just got here too. Jessica sits down next to me and takes a deep breath. My counseling session went well today. The therapist acknowledged my progress. That's great, I replied with a genuine smile. Jessica and I, who initially had a complicated relationship, have now become good confidants. Her sincere remorse and love for the children changed our relationship. Hey, Emily, Jessica says, looking a bit nervous. I'm starting a new job next month. Volunteering at a children's care facility. That's wonderful. Your experience will surely be valuable. Tears glistened in her eyes. Thank you. I wanted to turn my past mistakes into something positive. Just then, Sophia and Olivia came running up to us. Mom! Aunt Jessica, they shouted in unison. What is it? Push us on the swings. We looked at each other and laughed. All right, let's go. As I pushed the swings, I looked up at the sky. White clouds were slowly drifting across the blue sky. Indeed, our lives have taken an unexpected path. But it's because we overcame these trials that we have the happiness we do now. Ryan and I divorced, but he still meets with the children regularly. He's reflecting on his actions in his own way and trying to be a good father. Me? As a single mother, balancing work and childcare is challenging. But thanks to the support of family, friends, and Jessica, I'm managing somehow. Yes, Jessica is now a dear friend. Her presence enriches our family. Hey, everyone, I called out to the children and Jessica. How about we have a sleepover at our house tonight? Yay! The children cheered, and Jessica nodded happily. At this moment, I felt truly happy from the bottom of my heart. Life is a series of unexpected turns. But I believe that with love and forgiveness, we can overcome any difficulty.